If you found out.
Yes.
Has the news title came to your phone, into your Gmail?
No.
No. Back to this. Hi, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Vigil, and I lead the Hostages and Missing Families Forum UK. We have gathered here tonight in unity, in hope, and in unwavering solidarity with the families of the hostages who have been held captive for an unimaginable 477 days. For 477 days, mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters have been trapped in darkness, torn from their homes and their loved ones, enduring a reality we can scarcely comprehend. Their absence leaves an unbearable void, but their presence in our hearts and our prayers remain stronger than ever. Today, we are grateful to celebrate the release of four hostages, Neha Levi, Daniela Gidwan, Karina Ariel, and Lily Ambak, who have finally returned home after months of captivity. While we rejoice in their freedom, our hearts remain heavy for those still held hostage, and our resolve to bring them home is stronger than ever. We are here tonight to remind the world that we have not forgotten them. We will not stop fighting for their safe return. Every single day that passes is another day too long. We cannot allow their suffering to be ignored, and we refuse to let their voices be silenced. I want to take a moment to express my deep gratitude to all of the organizations involved who came together in support and in unity of the hostages, and for JFS for hosting us. Your dedication, advocacy, and unwavering commitment are what keeps this cause alive. Together, we are stronger, and together, we will continue to demand their immediate release. This vigil is not only a moment of reflection, but a powerful call to action. It is a demonstration of our collective strength, our resilience, and our commitment to ensuring that their stories remain in the public consciousness. Thank you for being here tonight.
Masked terrorists inside an Israeli military base. 7 female soldiers covered in blood and bruises are up against the wall. They're handcuffed and terrified. 18-year-old Liri Albak trying to speak while the women are receiving death threats.
That's what you mean.
The gunmen leer at the women, telling them they're beautiful. The UN has said Hamas committed rape and sexual violence against its victims. It's unclear if that happened in this case. On the video, you can hear gunfire as the women are abducted into Gaza. Of the 7, 1 was rescued and another found dead. The remaining 5 still in captivity 229 days later, including 19-year-old Karina Ariev. We spoke to her sister, Sasha. What's it like to see your little sister there in her Snoopy pajamas, surrounded by these men with guns?
I think it's a scene, from a movie. I'm at the point that I'm begging for people to do something, just get them out of there.
A group representing hostage families releasing the footage, which they say was edited to take out the most gruesome scenes, trying to create pressure for a ceasefire deal. But with negotiations at a stalemate, Ireland, Norway, and Spain saying they'll recognize an independent Palestinian state.
So this was a video of them being abducted, and we can see how cruel it was. What we don't see in the video is all the lookouts that were murdered in front of them before they were kidnapped. We're not seeing some of the most horrific threats, and we're not seeing them being beaten up But that all happened at that moment, 477 days ago. Thank God today they came out of Gaza, and here are a few clips from today. As you can see, they're in Gaza. Before they're released, they're being paraded in the center of Gaza in front of very scary crowds around them and the terrorists. And they're told to smile. And they know they have to do exactly what they're told, or they may not come out of Gaza again.
אני אוהבת אתכם, כל אזרחי מדינת ישראל שתמכו במשפחות שלכם ועטפו אותם, וכל חיילי צה"ל שעשו הכל בשבילנו. תהיה לכם תודה רבה, אני אוהבת אתכם.
These are pictures of them coming out. This is us big man week. For 477 days, they were not allowed to cry. And they weren't given food every day. And they were under constant abuse. And it's going to take them time to breathe again. It's going to take them time to process what they've been through. And it's gonna take them time to get used to their new freedom. So we see them smiling, but we need to know that inside it's going to take them a while to come back to life. And they'll need our support and our love. And they need us to give them space. Because I know that even from the release last week, the same day I already had people saying, when can we have any of the Maris? But for a visit in England and we have football tickets, give them time. We'll have a lot of time to give them all our love. I would like to introduce you to Rabbi Wittenberg, Senior Rabbi of the Sorority Judaism, and to speak more about it. My name is Jude. When the evil Hamas blew our worlds apart, all of us looked and felt what happened, and then who did this happen to? And obviously, those closest to that event were those who were killed, and then those who were taken hostage, and then those soldiers who needed to serve. And after a couple of days, I found out that my best friend's daughter, Nomi, was Naaman's best friend, or one of her best friends. She has many. And suddenly I was pulled in closer. And what emerged, I think, over the last few months is that everybody is being pulled closer. And in many concentric circles, we have shown solidarity to each other in order to be able to lean in order to be able to love, support, help in any way that we can. And so when the border deputies adopted hostage program came online, it was really obvious to me that I wanted to form my community, New North London, in. And so I introduced Ayelet, Naama's mum, to Rabbi Wittenberg.
Yes, so I went to visit Ayelet, and the first time I climbed the stairs to her flat in Ra'anana, and you're thinking, what do you say to somebody whose daughter is held hostage? It's no idea. It's, the feelings they must have was just unimaginable. I thought, how do I begin? I kind of thought, being stupid, I thought stupidly, I hope they got a dog, I hope they got a dog. And then I heard this kind of barking, and that broke the ice, and I felt an instant sense of family. And that's a connection that's stayed ever since. I saw Yellet again in September, and we just didn't know what was going to happen. And I couldn't say my heart of hearts. I was really sure that she would see her daughter alive. And it's beautiful and heartrending to see them throw themselves on one another with that love that we witnessed just now. In Hostage Square, songs were sung that were chosen by the families of many of the hostages as their family members, their loved ones' favorite song. And the one for Nama, I know musical, forgive me, El Nice, was San Diego. And there's a line in it which goes like this. I wanted to write a melody that would bring me into the future. And now, please God, she's back in the future in Israel. And we just don't know what she's been through. It's impossible to know what feelings she has. I can only imagine that for her family it's extremely complicated because they're relieved, they're joyous, and they're very, very aware of what's happening with some of the other families. So very, very complicated. But I can't wait to see them, but that will be time. I wrote a letter for them a little while back, and I realized that it still applies. It goes when something like this, Mama, may you be safe in body and soul, and please God, she will be safe in body and soul. May you be impressed by your parents and your family. May your little dog Buffy jump up against you against all the rules. I'm sure that's happened. And may you go to the beach as you love to do with the girls and your friends who call themselves the Robins and all your schoolmates. May all that happen. And please God, may all the hostages and their families be safe.
Thank you so much. I'd like to bring you back my king who's here to sing with us for us.
you to us, but we're trying to connect to the main sound system. We have a problem, so.
We organized the event in like 24 hours, so there's some technicalities.
A big thank you to you and everyone who organised it on behalf of the film.
Three, one,
In Hebrew, we say צרות של השירים, rich people's problems.
It sounds a good sign, but I just have a first feedback. All right, so thank you for helping us with the sound.
And you're welcome to join me singing if you know the words. Just a second. Fire, oh, Shana, to fire. Asavi, Shoti, Nano, Pashti, Bagan. Is there enough? Et Sata, Bagi, Bakila, Yashana, Onkore, Amata, Amata. So began stop studying. I don't go ahead see my Amata, and it's all they won't tell me, they won't tell me. The shall be found. I know, shall but it's no Grazie, se benasse a te, abita, io lontana, una scelta, mi Baita is into home, so please join me. Habaita, habaita, baita so, millenari, stolzari, aiuto espessima. Ligot gari, ligot gari, divina chave fala, anano chava, valent, islofa, sugana, sike, tami, mani, suwa, silati. To say a few words about this song. I don't know if are you familiar with the song? Just back probably like 2 months, I think, after the war began, they collected a lot of, I think, the families of hostages, or families of people who were murdered, and they created like a big ensemble of singers and musicians, and they recorded this song, Habaita is mean home, and they took all the amateur musicians and singers to Caesarea Caesarea, to the amphitheater there, and they recorded this very moving clip. So it's kind of, this song is, this song from the 80s, it's kind of became one of the songs of the soundtrack of this awful war. Thank you.
So we're so happy they're home. We're waiting for the other 90 hostages to come home. And I wanted to say thank you to everyone online for joining us and following this, even that you're not here, that you're
here with your hearts and souls. I would like to introduce you to Rabbi Rebbetzin Feldman from Bush United Shul to join us and speak about theory.
Shabbat Tov, everyone. Not long after we began to hear in the early afternoon about the release of these incredible women, Karina, Daniela, Naama, and Livy. We read from the Torah of the continued journey of our exodus out of Egypt. And the portion that we read really spoke to me. We read of Pharaoh, realizing that he could no longer hold us as captives, as slaves any longer. He began to capitulate with Moshe, to plea bargain. Who would go out? And the Torah reads, Vayishav as Moshe vis Aaron al Paro vayomar leihem, and that Moshe and Aaron went back to Pharaoh. And he said to them, L'chu ivdu es Adonai, fine, you can go, serve your God. Mi v'mi ha'olchim, but choose who you want to let free. You can't have everyone. Who will go? And Moshe, our leader, was having none of it. And he responded back with the most resonating words. Vayimar Moshe responded, no. V'nureinu uv'skunenu nelev. Our young and our old will go. V'vonenu v'noseinu. Our sons and our daughters, they'll go too. Ki chag Hashem lanu, because we can only celebrate with God when all of our people are let out. And that's the message that the world and we here this evening are declaring loud and clear. We celebrate that brave, beautiful, and strong young women have been returned home to their families' embrace. But we will not rest until all of our sisters and brothers, the young and the old, are all returned home. And we keep declaring that we will bring them home. They must be brought home. And we will be steadfast to all the good people of the world to join with us. We want them home. We cannot celebrate as a people unless we are united together again.
Dearest Lily, you are so young, now just 19 years old, the youngest of your siblings, and yet you were so strong. Only 2 days after arriving at your post in Nahal Oz, your world and all of our people's worlds were turned upside down when you were taken from us. But now you are hope, our Eshet Chayil, our strong woman, our warrior. You have a tattoo with the words Emunah, faith, that you had put on after your boyfriend Nir was seriously injured in a car rally attack, when you took care of him and you encouraged him to have faith. And it is you who have given all of us faith, and your release has given us faith for the future. Liri, you can now brighten up the world with your music and singing, like you were when you were supporting the women you are held with in Gaza. The other hostages told how you used your humor and your imagination to lift all of them, even in the depths of hell. You were the heart of parties and smachot, And now we celebrate alongside with you, with Karina, Daniela, Naama, Emily, Doron, and Romy. And we cannot wait to celebrate with Arbel and all of the hostage, Mehewa, soon. We express our love and solidarity today and continue to pray for the safe return of all of our hostages and safety for our people and all people. I'm Yusra Al-Fai.
Thank you so much. I would like to introduce Rabbi Dweck from the Sephardi Synagogue, Spanish and Portuguese Synagogue. Apologize if I'm getting it all wrong. To share about the Vienna before.
Shavua Tov, God Kadosh. Thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for the organizers for organizing it in 24 hours. I am grateful to be here as well. I am convinced that there are no words really that we can say to properly capture or address what it is that all of us feel. And yet we need them. We need the words to be able to somehow get through. Margalit and I were in Israel last weekend, and we were there when the first hostages were released. And of course, there was a very strong sense of happiness in the country. We were happy to see the images that we saw here tonight of families coming together who endured such anguish for so many days, to be able to be united again with their children, with their families. And yet, in all of that happiness, I do think that it is premature to speak about celebrating anything. We can be happy, we should be, but we can't be jubilant yet. And I will say to you that that evening, as I went to bed, I couldn't sleep. I was very grateful that these hostages came home. But I couldn't sleep because I was also angry. I was angry. And as I watched these videos, I'll be honest with you, I'm angry. Of course I'm grateful that they're home. I'm angry at the evil of Hamas. I'm angry at the pain of our people. I'm angry that we cannot be one people in freedom. And then I read the words of Alan Dershowitz at 3:30 in the morning. And he said, just one thing that helped me sleep. I didn't sleep well, but I finally fell asleep. And he said, we should not speak of this as a deal. It's extortion. It's extortion. It's a gun being held to our heads. Thankfully, the hostages are home with their families. Please God, we will see every single one of them home and safe with their families. And as was mentioned, these lives are truncated. The lives of the nation, of our people, are frozen. It will take time to heal. But the solace in this is, and I believe that for me anyway, the calming and comforting part of it is that we can now begin to feel our national heart beginning on a journey of healing. We can begin to feel the healing. I have full faith that we will fully heal because we are an indestructible people. And because, as was mentioned, we are reading today of experiences that are eerily and difficultly similar 3,000 years ago. And we are Israel. And we always will be. And it is in these things, even in this room, we can come together, and all the different parts of our people can come together and recognize our unity, our love, our strength, our emunah, and our faithfulness to God, to our destiny, we will carry on. Please, God, we should see that we do so.
We will share with you that just less than a month ago, Daniela's mother was at a very special event in Achnasat Sefer Torah. And she said, as the Rabbi Milubavitch says, we're celebrating things before they happened. And she announced that the Sefer Torah was the celebration for Daniela's return home from captivity. And less than a month later, like I have shivers saying it, she's free and she's back. May all of them be returned soon. In the end, I'll share with you the video. I would like to get Yuval back to sing for us Am Yisrael Chai by Ella, that version.
This is another hymn of the war, and you're welcome to join me again. Am Yisrael Chai, ונשכח תמיד להיות צדיק. עם ישראל חי, בעליות, בירידות, בשבת הכי קשות, הקדוש לנו שומר עלינו, יכול עלינו, כי לנו פה הקדוש שלנו בינינו, שומר עלינו, יומא עלינו. עם ישראל חי. עם ישראל חי. בקרוב תצרח השמש, ימים יפים אלה, הלב נפחם בדקות. כולם יחזרו הביתה, יחכה להם למטה, הלוואי נדע בשורות טובות. כי המנצח לעולם לא מפחד, אפילו שכפו לראות. כולם ביחד על אחד אותו מודד, שיספרו המלחמות, עם ישראל חי. אם לא נשכח תמיד להיות מאוחדים, עם ישראל חי. בעליות, בירידות ובשעות הכי קשות, הקדוש ברוך הוא שומר עלינו, אז יכול עלינו, יהיה לנו עוד אמונה, הלב שלנו בינינו, שומר עלינו, יום האמונה. עם ישראל חי. עם ישראל חי.
Thank you so much. I would like to invite Rabbi Leah Wolstein from the Liberal Synagogue. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Our synagogue, the Art Synagogue in Northwood, adopted Karina because of our long-standing relationship with Congregation Kol Neshama in Jerusalem, where Karina's first cousin Anna works. During the past 477 days, Karina has accompanied us really through everything in the synagogue. We took her with us to our high holiday venue, we lit out candles for her, and we advocated for her release, as we did for the release of all the hostages, including at the many vigils at Parliament Square, and many of our members who attended them are here today, as well as on the 3 congregational trips which we organized to Israel. And it's lovely to see Rabbi Rodrigo here, who prayed with us at Hostage Square. We tried to give hope to Karina's family
by sending them almost daily pictures of what we were doing to help bring her home. This morning, as we gathered for Shabbat Shacharit, we kind of cried a bit, as I look back now. But we also rejoice with the families of Karina, of Nana, of Daniela, and of Lily. And the fight for freedom of the hostages is of course not yet over. 90 hostages still remain. Among them Keith Siegel, whose brother Lee has met with us on numerous occasions. And so I want to share a prayer this evening, written by Rabbi Colin Shema, Rabbi Oded Mazol, which he composed in November 2023, when it became clear that Karina would not be among the hostages released during that first ceasefire. The English translation is by Ariel Kaur. Kohelet lo tzadak. Kohelet wasn't right. בימים בהם כל העיקים קורסות אחת אל תוך רותה, ואין ברירה אלא לבכות ולשחוק באותן עיניים, לספור ולרקוד גם יחד. In the days when each hour collides with the next, we have no choice but to cry and to laugh with the same eyes, to mourn and to dance at the same time. And the long arc of history is compressed into one day and 1 hour. We ask for the strength to contain the intensity of our bursting hearts, to rejoice with those who will be able to embrace today, to enfold all of those leaning into their longing, souls trembling, to hold on to hope without letting go, and to leave some quiet space for a silent scream. אנא, תן לנו מקום להישבר בו לרזיזים ורוח להיבנות שוב מחדש. Please grant us the room to shatter into pieces and the spirit to rebuild anew. Amen. Thank you.
The hostages and missing families from the 8th of October started advocating for the hostages here in England. From hanging posters so they're not forgotten, to creating vigils to mark their birthdays. Only last week we've marked Fear Beavis's 2nd birthday. He never had a birthday out of captivity. We've marked Passover outside of Downing Street with a beautiful table that had over, I think it was close to 200 hostages were missing at the time. They each had a seat. They were each missed. And in England, there are so many groups that advocate for the hostages and the synagogues. We have the Board of Deputies adopt a hostage. We took it a step further, and Hostage Forum has asked MPs in England to adopt a hostage, to twin with a hostage, to meet their families, to get to know their stories so they can advocate for them, because their voice is sometimes bigger than ours in the Jewish community. We have 90 hostages still suffering. Thank God, Emily Damari, the only British hostage, was released, but we still have 8 linked British hostages. We have Oded Lifshitz, his daughter Sharon lives in England. His cacti garden is waiting for his return, and Nir Oz is waiting for him to return. We have the mother of Avinatan O, who's British and waiting for him to return, the boyfriend of Noah Damani, who had 3 chances to escape that horrible day, but he wouldn't leave Noah behind. We have the parents of the soldier that was murdered on 7th of October, Shai Levinson. A true testimony for a person that believed in coexistence. He lived in Tveria. He loved to play volleyball, and he decided that he's going to join the best volleyball in his area, which was an Arab team. He was the first Jewish player there. And since then, more Jewish players joined the team. when he was announced to his family that he was murdered that day, the whole Arab village came to hug his family and his siblings and tell them how much they prayed for peace and how much he meant to them, that he was a part of their family. And I'm thinking about Eli and Yossi Sharabi. Eli was married to Leanne, a British citizen, and they had two beautiful daughters that were murdered that horrible day. And his brother Yossi was also abducted, and we're waiting for his body to return. And Ilan Weiss and Keith Siegel, they have cousins here in England waiting for their return. And we also have Tafida, that has his cousin who is here with us, that's about to tell us more about Safi and his life. Hamas, they don't need a deal to let the hostages go. And they proved us that they don't need a deal. On day 4, they let 2 hostages go. And on day 17, they let 2 hostages go without a deal, without nothing in return, because it was the right thing to do. I'm calling them, let our people go. Let the hostages go. Their families are waiting for them. Keep advocating for our hostages. Every voice matters. I thank the Christian community and the Iranian community here in England that are standing next to us nonstop, and it means the world to us that we're not alone. Thank you for attending. I'm going to pass you on to Adam and Nate.
Thank you, everyone. Shavua Tov. My name is Adam Ma'anit. I work at the Board of Deputies. I'm also the cousin of Tahi Dan, whose empty seat I'm staring at right now, amongst the 90 empty seats. We've been waiting for and fighting for each and every one of these people for over 15 months. Tahi is one of the hostages in the phase 1 deal, which means that he's on the list of 33 that are set to be released in the next few weeks. However, the way Hamas operates, we don't know if he's alive or dead. In fact, the only time we've seen any proof of life of Tahi was a year ago when he appeared in a Hamas video. In the video, they paraded him, as they did with many of the hostages, and treated it like a game show. They said, they forced him under duress to say things in Hebrew, say how well he's being treated, how he's okay, and forced him to smile on camera. And then Hamas at the end said that he was dead, along with all the other hostages that were in that video. They did this with a lot of videos. They were treated like a game show, and they would say, are they alive or are they dead? And they would leave the question unanswered. And they would use that as a way of form of psychological warfare and torture. You've seen the scenes today, the stage, carefully stage managed by Hamas with all sorts of messaging. They wrote in Hebrew underneath, Zionism will not win. They had messages in the banner about the Al-Aqsa flood, which is what Hamas called the October 7th massacre. I know that Tahi's not treated well. We know that because we had testimony from hostages and the conditions that they were forced to live under. We're just hearing now the conditions that the 4 women who were released today were under. We know that the 6 bodies of the last set of hostages that were recovered by the IDF were found riddled with bullet holes executed at point blank range, with signs of also torture, neglect, starvation. Eden Yulashami, a 26-year-old young woman, was found weighing 36 kilograms. She should have been double that weight. She was starving to death.
So we know the hostages aren't being treated well. And we know that Sahi's not being treated well. How could he be? He watched his firstborn daughter die in his arms on October 7th. Her blood pooling out on the towels of the mamad where they were hiding, him and his eldest, who had just celebrated her 18th birthday only a few days before. I stand before you with a chest full of bullet holes that match the bullet holes that you were shot through the door that killed my aunt in the head. She had just celebrated her 18th birthday, the balloons up in the house, a whole life ahead of her, snuffed away by Hamas's terrorism. They took Tomer, our neighbor, a 17-year-old boy, and frog marched him door to door at gunpoint, forcing him to speak Hebrew to lure the families out of hiding so that they could do whatever they wanted to do with him. My family didn't come out when they heard Tomer's voice. They knew what was going on. The video from that scene became viral on the internet, and a lot of people know my family from seeing Tzachi's children, Shafar and Yael, crying, terrified. They had just seen their eldest sister murdered in front of their eyes. And Shafar, 9 years old, crying uncontrollably. The terrorists trying to shush him, trying to shut him up. Yaeli, 11 years old, I don't know from where this bravery came from, speaking to them in English, explaining that he can't shut up. You just murdered his sister. And the terrorists respond, she's with your God now. My chest is filled with bullet holes. Some older. My 16-year-old cousin Orly was murdered in a mass suicide bombing in 2002. I know what this pain feels like. It's not the first teenage relative I've lost to Hamas. Everything that Hamas does is designed to inflict maximum pain, maximum suffering, to destabilize us. And so when we see those scenes on our television screens, it's all designed, it's all orchestrated to terrorize us, but we will not be terrorized. We will endure, we will persevere, and we will celebrate the release of the 4 women today and the 3 last week, and the return of the body of Oron Shaul by the IDF, who was held by Hamas for over 10 years. His father, Herzl, fought for the last years of his life to try to bring his son home. He died before he had that chance. And Oron's body was laid next to his father's by the Kinneret, by the Sea of Galilee. And at least his mother has some semblance of closure. And we will not stop fighting, regardless of the situation, for the remainder of these empty seats and the posters on them to be taken down, because they will all have been reunited with their families. I always feel bad when I talk about something negative on a day like today, because I think it's important that we also celebrate this moment, these 4 women who have become, and I think this is something that I think people don't realize about hostage families, is that we've become one big family. And so when these women are returned to their families, they return to my family. We can use that as the shield to protect us from the woes and the suffering and the turmoil that lies ahead. This so-called deal, I think Rabbi Tvack said it excellently, this extortion, this it's all designed to draw out our suffering over weeks, to tease out, to tantalizingly hold our hostages and dangle them before us with the prospect of them coming home. The Bibas family, a 9-month-old baby. We marked his two-year birthday recently. Shlomo Mansour, 86 years old, and everyone in between. And also let us not forget, please let us not forget, the 1,200 plus murdered on October 7th, like my cousin Mayan, like my friend Michael's son Jake. There's so much pain and suffering in this world. And I can't think of a moment like this without being together with my community. And I find succor through being with my community. And for me, I think it's also how we heal. And for me, it's also the embodiment of what I think Am Yisrael Chai really means. And so when we say Am Yisrael Chai, it's not just a phrase, it's a verb, and it's a promise. Thank you.
Just have to say that we've lost so many brave soldiers as well since the 11th of October. And Adam Manit's family lost also one of the nephews of Tzachi Dan, who's still held hostage. So for them, I'm bringing Yoni Shine to sing for us, Mishe Berach. Mishe Berach, Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov, Hu yevarech et chayalei tzva Hagana Yisrael. Hu yevarech et chayalei tzva Hagana Yisrael. It's fire, tzva Hagana Yisrael. העומדים במשמר צאו ואלוהינו מגבול הלבנון ועד מדבר מצרים מן הים הגדול למערבה ביבשה באוויר ובים הוא יברך את חיילי צבא ההגנה לישראל. צבא ההגנה לישראל. I'm going to introduce Rabbi Daniel Lipsky, and have it in the role.
Thank you very much, Nivi, and to everyone who arranged this at such short notice. Coming in this room, JFS, and now thinking of Jacob Marlowe, best memory of Natan Young, of blessed memory as well, Hashem Yikom Damam, and also Shiloh Har Evan, my son's commander, killed on the 7th of October as well. I'm thinking of Naaman, of Lily, of Karina and Daniel, Ranana, Yachiv, Piskat Ze'ev, Petach Tikva. Country, as we said, as Rabbi Dweck said, on one sense, celebrates, on the other hand,
We mourn when we're angry. We just want everybody home. There is a piece of Talmud which talks to all of us. At the end of our days, we'll go to meet our Maker. And one of the things we ask for, or we're asked, is Tzipita Yeshua. Did you expect the salvation? Did you think about Mashiach, what was going to come in the future? And I remember when hearing about these girls, the Tatzpitaniot, which means that they are those of the watchers. They keep an eye on everything. And they sometimes have to call out what they see and it's not pleasant. And sometimes, like all the prophets of our people, we don't listen because we don't want to hear what they have to say. And all they say is everyone should come home. And so what I thought about those very days was the Tatzpitaniot always telling me, Tzipita Yeshua, are you expecting the salvation? Are you watching? Are you listening to those who are watching? Bring them home again. And these Shabbatot we are in 6 weeks. Shemot, Va'era, Bo, Shalach, Yitro, Mishpatim. These are 6 weeks over which time is hostage. Deal, exchange, extortion will be happening. And these words, these letters spell the word Shovavi, which usually means the mischievous ones, the ones who are a little bit off script. And with that genius and that mischievousness, they bring extraordinary things and help extraordinary things. And the phrase is Shuvu Banim Shovavim. During these 6 weeks, Shuvu Banim, let all of our kids come home. Let all of our parents, all of our grandparents come home. Going to read the prayer for which is so beautifully sung by him. Read it completely so that we have all of the words together. משברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב, ויברך את יצחק אברהם ישראל ובשך הפוטית לדברו, העומדים על משמר ארצך ואחרי אלוהינו בא לבנו, ובא במדבר מצרים עניין הגדול לעבור הדבר בכל מקום שהם, ויבשה אבינו בים. ייתן לנו את רבינו הקמים היו נפגפים לפניהם, הקדוש ברוך הוא ישמור ויציל את חייהם מכל צרה וצוקה ומכל נגע ומחלה. ישלח ברכה והצלחה בכל מעשה ידיהם, יד באר שונאינו תחתיהם. יתרם לכם ישועה ותכף ניצחון וקוים בהם הכתוב. כי אדוני עליכם ההוליך עמכם להילחם לכם באויביכם, להושיע אתכם ולומר אמן. For those of us who don't have that sense of Hebrew, it's important to understand what these words have said. We never really read the translation, so your commission, translation of these words. He who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, blessed the members of Israel's defense forces and its security services who stand guard over our land and the cities of our God, from Lebanon to the Egyptian desert, from the Mediterranean Sea to the approach of the Arava, and wherever else they are on land, in the air, or at sea. May the Lord make the enemies who rise against us be struck down before them. May the Holy One, blessed be He, protect and deliver them from all trouble and distress, affliction and illness, and send blessing and success to all the work of their hands. May He subdue our enemies under them and crown them with deliverance and victory. May there be fulfilled in them the verse, it is your Lord God who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies to deliver you. And let us say, Amen. 2 Tehillim, 2 Psalms. The first is Psalm 20, which we say every day. It's the conclusion of our service. It's a very powerful psalm, especially the line that says, at the bottom, different part, okay. Psalm 20. למנצח ומזמור לדוד, יעלך אדוני ביום צרה, ישגבך השם, ישגבך השם אלוהי יעקב. ישלח עזרך מקודש ומציון יסעדך. ותזכור כל מלכותיך ועולתך ידשנה סלע. ייתן לך כי לבבך וכל עצתך ימלא. נרננה ישועתך ובשם אלוהינו נגדול, ימלא אדוני כל משאלותיך. אתה ידעתי כי יהושע אדוני משיחו, יענהו משרי קודשו בגבורות ישר ויום. אלה הולכת ואלה הסוסים, ואנחנו בשם אדוני אלוהים נזכיר. אם עקרנו ונפלנו, ואנחנו קמנו ונתמודד. אמר הושיע, המלך יאמין, לא קוראים. And so, 120. Psalm 100. They're all fantastic. David writes many of the Psalms when he's not in a good place. He's being chased, he's being vilified, he's being given tremendous challenge and difficulty. And in that sense of difficulty and challenge, he writes these extraordinary, extraordinary prayers. Psalm 100. Also, this psalm has to be said standing, because when you thank God, you need to stand up for his everything that he does for us. Psalm 100. It was not a that. אני ולדבר כל הארץ, עבדו את אדוני בשמחה, ולא לפניו בלבנה. דעו כי אדוני הוא אלוהים, והוא עשנו ולא אנחנו, נעמוד וצוק בריתו. לא שרב בתודה אצל עולם בתהילה, עוד לא ברכו שמו, כי לא אדוני ואף אצלו, לא אדוני. May they all come home safely. And we're rejected to be able to welcome these people sitting in their chairs in this hall as we say to them, Chim Hashavim, welcome home. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome Rabbi Rodriguez, Israel. And Rabbi Dean James.
So, Rabbi Rodrigo is from our twin community, Kehilat Halev in Tel Aviv, who we've grown more close to. He was visiting this Shabbat to be with us. I know there's over 1,000 people have joined online, and we welcome those who are joining us in the room today. We wanted to share a prayer that Rabbi Rodrigo's community have been saying regularly, composed by Rabbi Ofer Sabat Beit Halachmi, translated by Rabbi Rachel Sabat Beit Halachmi, for the captives.
אלוהינו מתיר לאסורים, נשגב לדך, נשגב לעיתות לצרה. שלח הצלה שלמה ופדיון גמור לנתונות בשבי אויב. חזקי רוחם, הביא להם את תפילתנו לשומרם מרע. תני בינה בלב אויב להשיבם בשלמות גוף ונפש. תני תבונה בלוחמי צה"ל, לחלצם ולא איבוד נפשות. תן לכל בני ובנות אברהם, שרה והגר את עוז הרוח ואומץ הלב להטיף כבלי שבי ולחיות חיי חירות. יקראני וענהו, עמו אנוכי בצרה, אחלצהו ואכבדהו ונאמר. I just want to add a few words. We learn from Rambam, כי אין מצווה גדולה יותר מפדיון שבויים. There is no greater mitzvah than to return hostages. And that's what we have to scream, as Moshe screamed to Pharaoh. We have to scream right now. There is no bigger mitzvah than pidyon shvuim.
The translation of the prayer reads, Our God, the one who raised Joseph up from the pit, be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Send complete rescue and full redemption to those held captive by the enemy. Strengthen their spirits and bring them our prayers that they may be protected from all harm. Implant understanding in the heart of the enemy that they may return the captives in wholeness of body and spirit. Grant wisdom to the Israel Defense Forces that they may secure freedom for the captives without loss of life. Grant strength of spirit and courage of heart to all the sons and daughters of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar, to release bonds of captivity and allow us all to live in freedom. They shall call upon me and I will answer them, says the Psalm. I will be with them in distress. I will rescue them and honor them. And we say, Amen. We wanted to conclude with just the last few words of Psalm 122, which has become so much part of the recitation of Havdalah at the Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, led by the rabbis of the progressive movement. Shalu shalom Yerushalayim, Yishlayu Havayach, Yehi shalom lechilech, Shalva ba'amoratayach.
למען אחי ורעי, אדברה נא שלום לך, למען בית אדוני אלוהינו, אבק שם טוב לך. Pray for the well-being of Jerusalem. May those who love you be at peace. May there be well-being within your ramparts, peace in your citadels. For the sake of my kin and friends, I pray for your shalom, for your well-being. For the sake of the house of the Eternal One our God, I seek your good. May them come home soon. One more, Psalm 121.
So when we pray this song, I ask for everyone that is singing and everyone that is with us to think about someone that you want to send protection, that you want to send care. We talk about "Ine lo yadum v'lo yishan shomer Israel," and we think about God, and we think about all the chayalim and the chayalot that protect us. So if you know a chayal, chayalet, if you know someone that needs protection, I invite you to think about them and send them this energy. שיר למעלות, ושענai להרים, מאין יבוא עזרי. עזרי מעם אדוני, עושה שמיים וארץ. אל יתן למות רגליך, אל ינום שומרך. הנה לא ינום ולא יישן, שומר ישראל. אדוני שומרך, אדוני צילך, על יד ימינך. יומם השמש לא יככה, וירח בלילה. אדוני ישמורך מכל רע, ישמור את נפשך. אדוני ישמור צאתך ובואך, מעתה ועד עולם, ונאמר
Amen. Thank you. Before we conclude, just want to say that Hamas already advocating that Israel is breaching the deal. And I'd like you to just use your voice to remind them that Hamas started breaching the deal last week when they didn't release the 3 hostages in 24 hours like it was promised. And the deal said that this week, or in the first stage, they were supposed to let all the civilians and children go. And at the moment, we still have Ariel Bibas, Kfir Bibas, Shiri Bibas, and Arbel Yahud still held captive. So today, we're hearing the good news of our lookouts that were released. My heart longs to know what's the condition of these 4. Like to invite Yoni to sing for us the prayer Achenu that's been helping us through this time, send the hostages energy, and for the hostages family, we're with you, we're thinking about you, and thank you everyone for coming.
That's
Thank you.